My husband called me. He had been out, and he said, down the street, there's a house that they're cleaning out, and there's a couch on the curb and a dumpster. We were looking for a sofa for my daughter, who was moving into a condominium. And so I grabbed my mom, and I said, let's go look. So we get to the street, and the sofa is like brand new, and I felt really guilty about taking it. So I walked up to the door, and I knocked on the door, and I said, is it free? And he says, yes, take it. And he goes, what else does she need? I got a whole dumpster full of stuff. Got them home, thought they were pretty ugly and that they weren't going to look good in the condo at all, actually.
And you brought 4 in today, and we selected this one to look at.
This is a Turkoman Ensi Rug, a rare hand-knotted textile from around 1800, possibly even the late 18th century. This rug was woven by the Tekke tribe, one of the several nomadic tribes that lived in Turkmenistan, near the Iranian border. For centuries, these nomads created beautiful woven pieces by hand. Some were made for everyday use. Others were made for special ceremonies. Weaving was a tradition passed down through generations, mothers teaching daughters the patterns and techniques of their ancestors. An ensi is a special type of rug. It was made as part of a bride's dowry, a collection of valuable items a woman brought into her marriage. During the wedding procession, the ensi would hang on the side of a camel as the bride traveled to her new home. It was both a decoration and a symbol of the family's skill and wealth. This rug features what is called an animal tree pattern. In the center is a tree, flanked by 2 animals on either side. The animals have small plumes, feathery decorations that appear only on the earliest versions of this design. Later rugs lost this detail. The presence of the plumes helps date this piece to around 1800 or earlier. This rug is entirely hand-knotted. Looking at the back reveals how beautifully it was made. Hundreds of tiny knots packed into every square inch. The warp threads are made of fine 2-ply goat hair. The colors are rich and varied, typical of high-quality old Turkoman work. A rug like this could have taken a full year to complete. The color range on this piece is exceptional. Turkoman rugs are known for their deep reds, burgundies, and earthy tones. The dyes come from natural sources: plants, insects, and minerals. Over time, these natural dyes age beautifully, developing a warmth and depth that cannot be replicated by modern synthetic dyes. For a rug that has traveled through 2 centuries, the condition is impressive. Rugs like this are extremely rare. Fewer than 10 examples with this particular design have ever appeared at public auction. Most Turkoman rugs seen today are from the late 19th century. Finding one from around 1800 is exceptional.
Well, I believe that a collector would pay a retail price of between $125,000 and $150,000.
You are serious?
I'm serious.
Oh my gosh, he was right. I can't believe. Yes, we can pay for college. No.
Yes.
Great, sell it. No.
There are fewer than 10 known, I believe, that have ever come up in this design
kidding.
that have sold publicly.
I don't know an awful lot about it, except that it was given by Kit Carson, who I'm sure everybody knows in his history, given to the foster father of my grandmother.
And do you know who made this weaving? Do you know what kind of blanket it is?
It's probably a Navajo, but that's about all I know.
Well, Ted, did you notice when you showed this to me that I kind of stopped breathing a little bit?
Yeah, you did.
This is a Navajo First Phase Chief's blanket, one of the rarest and most important textiles in American history. A chief's blanket has a confusing name. It was not made for Navajo chiefs. It was made by Navajo weavers and sold to Ute chiefs. The Navajo people were master weavers. The Ute tribe, who lived nearby, saw how beautiful these blankets were and wanted them. But the blankets took many months to make, so they were very expensive. The Ute would trade horses, animal skins, and other valuable goods just to get one blanket. Only the richest and most powerful Ute leaders could afford them. Wearing a chief's blanket showed everyone that you were important, wealthy, and respected. Navajo chief's blankets did not always look the same. They changed over many years. Experts call the earliest style first phase. Then came second phase. Then third phase. Each phase added more designs. This blanket is a first phase, the very first style made between 1840 and 1860. The pattern is very simple, just stripes. Brown stripes, white stripes, blue stripes, that is all. No fancy patterns, no diamonds, no zigzags. Later, weavers added more and more designs. This blanket is made from hand-spun wool, woven so finely that it feels like silk. The weaving is so tight that it would actually repel water. The brown and white stripes come from natural wool colors. The blue stripes are dyed with indigo, a very valuable dye at the time. One area of the blanket shows an old repair, likely done in the 1860s. The repair was made using raveled bayeta, a type of red cloth that was unraveled and rewoven into the blanket. This blanket was clearly treasured by everyone who owned it. First phase chief's blankets are among the rarest textiles in the world. Very few have survived.
Are you a wealthy man, Ted?
No.
Well, sir, I'm still a little nervous here, I have to tell you. On a really bad day, this textile would be worth $350,000. On a good day, it's about $500,000.
Oh, my God.
And you had no idea.
I had no idea. I just laying on the back of a chair.
Well, sir, you have a national treasure.
Wow.
A national treasure.
Gee.
When you walked in with this, I just about died.
My grandmother bought this in the early 1960s. She was in London at the Victoria and Albert Museum, and they were having some kind of exhibition of antiques, and she bought it from the museum. The receipt says it was made around 1700 in Asia Minor. It mentions Transylvania. The receipt is from a dealer, and there is a price of $3,500, and that was April 2nd, 1963.
This is a Turkish Smyrna rug, a rare hand-knotted textile from around 1650, nearly 400 years old. Smyrna rugs get their name from the city of Smyrna, an ancient port city on the western coast of Turkey. For centuries, rugs made in the Anatolian region were shipped through Smyrna to Europe and the rest of the world. The city became famous as the gateway for Turkish carpets. Over the years, these rugs have been called many names: Asia Minor rugs, Transylvanian rugs, Anatolian rugs. Anatolia is the Asian landmass of modern-day Turkey. For thousands of years, this region has been one of the great rug-making centers of the world. Nomadic tribes and village weavers created carpets by hand, passing down their skills from mother to daughter. Each region developed its own patterns, colors, and styles. A rug from Anatolia was a prized possession in any European home. This rug has an unusual and beautiful design. The ground color is a rich saffron gold, almost like honey. On top of this golden background are floral motifs in blue, white, and red. These flower-like shapes are called palmettes. What makes this rug special is the color arrangement. Most rugs of this type have a red background with yellow inside the flowers. This one is the opposite. The gold is the main color, and the flowers sit on top. This reversed color scheme is very rare and highly prized by collectors. The rug is made entirely of wool, 100% natural material. The pile is hand-knotted wool, and the foundation underneath is also wool. This was the traditional method used by Turkish weavers for centuries. Wool was durable, warm, and readily available from the sheep herded by nomadic tribes. When this rug was first made, it was probably twice as long as it is today. Over time, parts of the rug wore out. At some point, likely in the 18th or 19th century, someone cut the rug in two and joined the good sections back together. The repair was done very carefully. Rugs from the 17th century are extremely rare. Most did not survive centuries of use, wars, and neglect. Even with the old repair, this rug is a treasure.
Now, the $3,500 that your grandmother paid for it in 1963 was quite a hefty sum. If this piece came up for auction today, it would be conservatively estimated in the $35,000 to $50,000 range.
Wow.
And that's mainly due to this big reweave that goes across the rug. If it was a complete rug, the estimate would probably be double that.
Wow.
And even with that repair, because the rug is so rare on its own, that I wouldn't be surprised if it exceeded that $35,000 or $50,000 auction estimate.
Wow, that's fantastic.
Our local art museum had a sale, and their workers could bring in items to put in the sale as well. And it was purchased there from one of the workers then about 30 years ago. That's how I got it.
And did you know much about it when you bought it?
Not really. I just knew a bargain when I saw one.
What was your bargain?
$10.
$10. You sure that wasn't too much?
Oh, back then it was a lot.
This is an Indian chain stitch embroidered textile, a silk masterpiece from the first half of the 18th century. Chain stitch is one of the oldest embroidery techniques in the world. It creates a series of loops that look like a chain. Indian artisans mastered this technique and used it to create incredibly detailed designs. The stitching on this piece is extraordinarily fine, some of the finest ever seen. Each tiny stitch was made by hand, requiring patience, skill, and steady hands. This textile was made in Gujarat, a province in western India. At that time, Gujarat was part of the great Mughal Empire. The Mughals ruled much of India from the 1500s to the 1800s. They were famous for their love of art, architecture, and fine craftsmanship. The Taj Mahal was built by a Mughal emperor. Mughal textiles were considered some of the finest in the world. This textile features a classic medallion pattern. The design is curvilinear and flowing, full of graceful curves and delicate lines. Flowers, leaves, and vines swirl across the fabric. There is a softness to the drawing that shows the hands of a master artist. Every detail is carefully planned and beautifully executed. Owning a Mughal embroidered textile was a sign of wealth and good taste, whether in India or in a grand English manner. This textile is actually made from 3 separate pieces sewn together. Anyone who has done fine embroidery knows that working on a huge piece is very difficult. So the artisans created 3 sections and joined them. If you look closely, you can see the seams. And in some places, the patterns do not quite match up. But this is not a flaw. It is a testament to the incredible skill required to create something so large and so detailed by hand. The textile is very large, about 80 inches by 100 inches. For a piece over 300 years old, the condition is remarkable. There is a slight water stain in one area and a few tiny holes scattered about, but it would be almost impossible to find a textile this old without some signs of age.
Now, I would say that the value on this piece, conservatively, would be $15,000.
Well, color me happy. Really?
And that's a retail value.
That's awesome.
The very best of these, when they're in excellent condition, with no problems, bring $25,000 to $30,000.
Wow.
It's a special piece, really.
Well, it's even more special now.
My mother actually purchased it in 1998 in Santa Fe. She was shopping and saw this in the window. And she walked in the store and she said, "I want that." And they said, "Well, we just hung it up." She said, "Well, take it down because I want that."
And what did you pay for it?
$1,250.
Okay. I've never seen anything like this object on the Roadshow, and I've been doing it 21 years.
This is an Indian patchwork textile, a stunning hand-embroidered piece made from fragments of antique fabric, assembled in northern India. In America, quilts made from random fabric pieces are called crazy quilts. This textile is the northern Indian version of that tradition. It is made from many different pieces of fabric, each one cut from older garments and sewn together into one large, dramatic piece. The result is a riot of colors, patterns, and textures that catches the eye from across the room. What makes this piece special is where the fabric came from. The segments are believed to be cut from the dresses of wealthy Indian women, specifically the collars and cuffs, which were often the most decorated parts of a garment. These were the finest sections, covered in embroidery and metallic thread. Rather than throwing away old garments, craftsmen saved the best pieces and gave them new life in textiles like this one. Not all fabric is from the same time period. Some pieces may be as old as the 19th century. Others are from the 20th century. The textile itself was assembled in the 20th century, bringing together fragments from different eras into one unified work of art. This mix of old and new adds to the richness and history of the piece. Look closely, and you will see metallic threads woven throughout the fabric. These threads catch the light and shimmer. Some may contain real gold. 24-karat gold thread was commonly used in fine Indian embroidery. Gold thread was a sign of wealth and status. It transformed ordinary fabric into something fit for royalty. Every section of this textile is hand-embroidered. The stitching is intricate and detailed. Flowers, geometric patterns, and decorative borders appear throughout. Each fragment tells its own story. A piece of a dress once worn by a wealthy woman, now preserved forever in this patchwork. What makes this textile truly exceptional is its size and visual impact. It is large enough to fill a wall or cover a bed. The combination of colors, patterns, and metallic shine creates a stunning effect. Textiles like this do not fit neatly into categories. They are not traditional rugs. They are not paintings. They sit somewhere between fine art and decorative craft, but their beauty and craftsmanship speak for themselves.
I would say at a good auction or in a decorative showroom, you could see this thing easily at $5,000 to $7,000.
Oh, that's